Welcome back to Everlasting Summer Part 10. Lena smiled a bit. I took the second box. Analgium, activated charcoal. Analgium, activated charcoal. Saline solution, potassium, permanganate. I give up on all that. Lena always spoke in simple sentences. How could I communicate with her if every conversation turned into a monologue or just an awkward silence? I wasn't quite satisfied with such a state of things. Sometimes it looked like she was hiding something behind her mask of shyness. But what? You know, I read a book not that long ago. Do you like science fiction? Not much. Damn, another failure. Well, if you don't like it, then what books do you like? Different kinds. The conversation wasn't going smoothly, and I had to turn it off for the better. Who knows why, but I thought about the dance again. Feelings of uneasiness, discomfort, and even shame overwhelmed me once more. Looks like I am not that different from Lena when it comes to such things. I'm shy and afraid of things I don't understand or can't do. I should probably overcome my own fears before anything else. And this will help me to understand her better. I've made up my mind. There are only a couple of boxes left. Yeah. Hey, I've got an idea. How about we go to the canteen afterwards? I think the tape recorder was taken back there. What's it doing in the canteen? I hesitated. What for? Her sincere look made it clear that she hadn't the slightest idea what I am going to offer. Well, frankly speaking, I just don't know how to dance. That's why I don't like it. That's the reason I was so confused back there. Maybe I could thank you by dancing with you. But She stopped sorting out the medicine for a moment, blushed, and looked right into my eyes. I got a bit stubborn. It really was a stupid idea. It's okay if you don't want to. I don't insist. What if someone sees us? I certainly didn't think about that. It's not a big deal, but everybody is asleep already. No one is going to the canteen at night. How will we get there? I should have thought about it beforehand. Well, I did have Slavia's keys, but didn't want to mention them. Someone could get the wrong ideas about me stealing them. That moment I regretted that I didn't get my cell phone from the leader's cabin. I would have talked my head off, then I forgot it. Anyway, I had to say something to get away from this awkward topic. What kind of music do you like? Different kinds. I'm not really into it. Then let's imagine it's playing now. I mean, that we can hear it playing. How's that? Like, it plays in your head. I still remember the melody the pioneers were dancing to. The music and words were really clear in my memory. I'm not sure I can do it. You can, just try. Probably. I got her consent. In Lena's case, even the probably can be considered yes. We silently sorted medical supplies for the rest of the time, writing down their names and quantities. I should pay more attention to every word I say after such luck. I stayed silent most of the time, though. Soon we finished the last box. I gave Lena the filled-in checklist and started to stare at her, like I saw Bigfoot riding a unicycle while juggling piglets. It was amazing, frightening, and above all, mesmerizing. She suddenly broke out laughing. What? That look of yours. What about it? It's just funny. Really? Yes. So, where are we going to do it? Where? Her last words unsettled me. I completely forgot what we were talking about. Frankly speaking, I completely left the world for a moment. Well, you know, to dance. Lena blushed right away, and her face took on a strange expression of shyness, uneasiness, and fear. Ah, yeah, sorry. I was just lost in thought. Let's go to the pier. I don't know why I chose that place. Maybe because you could run into a pioneer at the square, in the residential area, or near the canteen, but not on the pier. That's what I thought, at least. Or maybe because of the large, bright moon reflecting on the water in the night. And it is a full moon today. I don't know how, but this solution just offered itself. If you don't like it, then we can...
No, that's a really nice place.
Lena locked the door, and we made our way to the pier. Night fell on the sleeping camp.
Should we follow the road?
Why, it would be fastest through the forest, since it's a nice path there.
It's dark there.
Are you afraid?
Not really.
If you want to.
Okay, but can I?
Without finishing, she grabbed onto my arm. Her boob looks messed up.
Is it okay with you?
Now it is my turn to blush. Of course. We walked through the forest. It was hardly a forest, though. More like a small grove between the camp and the pier. About 100 meters long. I would never think that there would be anything to be afraid of, even on my own. But it just seems like Lena's fear was contagious. The branches swayed over us. I shuddered and Lena clung to my arm even more strongly. Don't be afraid. Must be a squirrel.
Yeah.
We reached the pier. The night was really beautiful. I walked closer to the river and called Lena. Look! The pier, the boathouse, and the moon were reflected in the water. It looked like another world, with the surface of the water being the door to Wonderland. You could just jump in and find yourself on the other side. May I have this dance? I extended my hand to her and bowed clumsily. Lena hesitated. I must have overdid it with my mannerism. There's nothing to fear. I'm no good at it either. Why either? She never said she couldn't dance, though it was kind of obvious.
Okay.
Lena gave me her hand. I let her a bit aside and gently put my arms around her waist. We just stood like that for a few moments.
And what next?
Well, I don't know. Do you remember that song?
Barely. But I remember.
Great, let's waltz like in the movies.
How's that?
Instead of answering her, I carefully started to move in a circle with Lena. See, not that hard at all.
Yeah.
We waltzed for several minutes, or whatever you could call it. I felt warmth, though we were not that close to each other. Her chest heaved heavily and her face started to blush more and more. Lena didn't look at me, averting her eyes from one side to another. I suddenly realized that I had never felt anything like this before. It was tenderness overtaking reality, as if I found myself in another, better world. I realized that I didn't want to let this girl go, and that I would give up anything just to go on waltzing with her forever. I clasped Lena tighter, and only then did she look straight at me. There was surprise and confusion in her gaze, but no fear whatsoever. She wasn't afraid of me, and didn't push me away.
And you said you can't dance.
I really can't. I was confused. I didn't expect that reaction from her. Where has her confusion, shyness, and fear disappeared to? You too dance pretty well.
I know.
A playful smile crossed her face. Or maybe it just seemed so to me. No, I swear I saw it. How's that possible? The image of shy and moderate Lena didn't fit together with this moment at all. What should I say? What should I do next? I could only keep waltzing with her in this dance, which was getting stranger with every passing minute. Semyon! Semyon, where are you? The voice came from the edge of the forest. Damn, worst timing ever. Semyon! It was Olga. She must have been worrying because I should have been back long ago. I should have guessed that tireless camp leader would start searching for a lost pioneer. Should have warned her beforehand. Oh, there's no point thinking about it now. Lena looked at me questioningly.
Being seen together would not be the best thing.
Why? Let's go and tell her everything's alright.
No, let's hide and return to the camp later.
Her idea was strange. Everything was going so well. At least something was starting to work out. Or it seemed like it did. But what was that something? Okay then. I decided not to argue. It wasn't appropriate in such a situation. Olga shouted for a while and left.
Let's go.
Yeah. Lena didn't grab onto my arm on the way back. I was a little bit frustrated, but wasn't certain enough to take the first step. We kept silent again. It was not typical of Lena to start a conversation, and I just didn't know what to say after everything that happened at the pier. She kept looking at the ground all the way back, keeping her usual expression. What a bizarre change. Or to be more precise, what was bizarre was that smile on the pier and Lena's words. She stopped at the square.
Well, I have to go.
Okay.
Thank you for today.
Yeah. Lena turned around and headed to her cabin, and I kept standing where I was. What the hell was that? That dance, that sudden change in the mood, and then everything was back to normal. It was like I was embracing another Lena in that short moment. That's right, she wasn't herself. She seemed a completely different person. Maybe I didn't know her well enough. I had a feeling before that Lena hides something under her mask of shyness. It takes much longer than 2 days to understand someone. Damn, what should I do? Maybe I was just seeing things. ... I walked to the leader's cabin. The whole camp was sleeping, so there was no one to see me. So what? What's wrong with a pioneer taking a walk at night? When I was almost at the door, I heard a noise behind me. The branches of the bush near the trees rustled as if someone moved there. There shouldn't be any wild animals around here. Someone must have been watching me. The very moment I rushed in all directions of the noise, forced myself through the bushes and looked around. It was too dark and I didn't see anything or anyone. There was no point in going on. Even if someone was watching, he must have been good and gone already. I went back to the cabin. The light inside was on. Looks like she's still awake. Semyon, where have you been? What do you mean, where? Me and Lena have been sorting medical supplies in the infirmary. I told you before that I would do that in the evening. Really? When was that? Took you long enough. I was in the infirmary about half an hour ago. It was closed and the lights were off. Well, we decided to take a little walk. I'm fretting about you while you're out having a walk. Well, sorry. I'll let you know beforehand next time. Please do. Go to bed, it's late. I can't help agreeing with her. It was by any measure a hard day. I was too tired to think about the evening's events, and I doubt I could have any decent thoughts. The main thing is that I have not a single idea how to react to all of this. To Lena, to the camp, to this whole world. I practically haven't spent even a minute looking for answers. Moreover, I've been avoiding it if the possible discovery scared me. And Lena? The time I spent with her was much more important than all of my attempts to return to the real world. I could worry myself for a long time trying to understand what I did wrong and what I didn't do at all, but exhaustion overcame me. Day 4. Sweet. I woke up with a hellish ringing inside my head. The ringing seemed to be coming from the depths of my consciousness. But after I came to my senses, I realized that the cause of this ringing is my alarm clock. Strange. Where did it come from? Why is it standing near my bed? It was 7:30, according to the clock. Olga had already left, and there was nobody to force me to go to the lineup. Thus I can sleep a bit more. I closed my eyes, but seemed like my consciousness had already had its coffee and was ready for a long, productive day. I need to get up. I should plan my day out. After all, I need to at least find out something today. But still, nothing came to my head. Fine, I need to wake up completely and wash myself. On my way to the washstands, I met Xenia. What got you up so early? Anything wrong with being up early? She looked at me as if I had insulted her. No, nothing, just curious. None of your business. Gosh, Xenia isn't very sympathetic, even when she's in a good mood, but today she just looked furious. The cold water perked me up. The fog in my head dissipated and my thoughts started arranging themselves. Curiously, I started to worry about finding a good place in the canteen, more than about finding answers. I brushed my teeth and was going to leave when a quiet sound wafted past my ears. It's probably a squirrel or some other animal. I heard another sound, this time a bit farther. I walked 10 minutes along the path, searching for some source. Nobody, just the warm forest. I returned to the washstand and saw Miku, who was looking for something in the grass. Noticing me, she smiled and jumped up to me.
Oh, hello. Good morning. I accidentally scattered my tooth powder. Just trying to gather it all back up.
The dewy grass didn't seem to be helping matters. Are you sure that's a good idea?
Well, why? What else can I do? I don't have any more. It was the last I had.
She pouted like a child who had just had her favorite toy taken away from her. Here, I'll give you mine. I dug into my bag. No tooth powder here. Strange. Didn't I just put it there? I walked away for just a minute and now it's gone. Listen, it looks like I've forgotten it. I don't want to tell her that it had just gone missing. Knowing the sensitivity of this girl, it was safe to assume that vanishing household goods would impress her so much that her brain would reset itself in order to avoid overheating. Well, I'll be off.
Yeah, cheers, visit us. Visit me in the music club. I'm still alone there, but I...
Miku's voice faded into the freshness of the summer morning far behind me. Getting back to the leader's cabin, I took my cell phone and looked at the battery meter. Enough battery for a day, maybe even less. Of course it won't help much here, but still. Finding a charger in the 80s would mean inventing it. I was going to head for breakfast when somebody knocked on the door. It was Lena.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. I was taken aback a bit. The events of the previous day were still fresh in my memory, but I didn't really want to speak about it. You're probably looking for Olga, aren't you?
Well, no. Yes.
Lena was her usual self, shy and easily embarrassed. That dance on the pier, now it seemed no more than a dream. She's not here. I'm sorry.
Okay then. I'll go.
Okay. When Lena left, I thought that I'd been too cold towards her, so I decided to be nicer on our next encounter. Still, regardless, the morning was shining and beautiful. The bright sun was shining over the space, and time-displaced pioneer Camp Sovyonok. The bright sun was shining over the space and time-displaced pioneer Camp Sovyonok, warning its residents and filling them with energy to spend the day productively. Or in my case, to waste it in a futile efforts to find an explanation for everything happening here. There was an unusually large crowd here at the canteen. Of course, there was no other place in the camp that pioneers loved as much as the canteen, but why they were all crowding on the porch? I came closer to find out what was going on. It looked like all the camp had gathered at the porch. There were all the familiar girls, Olga and Electronic. They were having a lively discussion. I drew closer. Semyon. Have you seen Shurik today? Nope, what's the matter? We haven't been able to find him since early morning. Disappearing pioneers? Well, that's something new. But he was with you yesterday? She was talking to Electron. Yes, he was. So you woke up this morning and he wasn't anywhere to be found? No. Why didn't you come to me immediately? Well, I thought that he got up earlier and went to wash or something. Did he mention anything yesterday? Interjected Slavia. For example? That he was going somewhere, for instance? Nope. And on that, I'm gonna end it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.